Right, we're back. It's the vinyl FAQ series. You know the score. Today's question is, how many times can I play a lathe cut record? So this is a great question, and it's one I get asked all the time because there's often a bit of confusion about lathe cut records. So we're going to clear that up right here, right now. So the short answer is that lathe cut records can be played as many times as you like. They won't degrade, they won't wear out, and they'll still sound just as good on the 100th play as they did on the first. Now, where some people get confused is around the term dub plates and knowing exactly what a dub plate is. Back in the earlier days of record production, a record cutting engineer would cut a master disc on an acetate or a lacquer disc, which is actually aluminium covered in a thin layer of nitrocellulose lacquer. And these were only made to be sent off to a pressing plant and go through a whole load of different processes to be turned into a stamper used to make pressed records. The problem with the master lacquers is that they wear out. Even if you played it once on your home record player, that would actually start wearing out the grooves, and the quality, the fidelity of the audio would decrease with each play. But of course, like all good musicians, we're all impatient and we want to hear that final sound straight away. And the pressing process can take quite a long time. So what used to happen is the cutting engineer would cut the master to be sent off to the pressing plant, and then the artist or the DJ would say, look, I really want to listen to this tonight, or I want to go and DJ it and play it out tonight. Can you cut me a double or a dub plate so that I can take it away and play it out? And so the cutting engineer would usually oblige, and they'd cut one copy to send off to the pressing plant, and then they'd cut a spare copy that they could hand over to the artist, and they could take it away and play it that day or that night. But as I mentioned earlier, the problem with these is they don't last forever. They were only really supposed to be cut for turning into the stampers. So the cutting engineer would say, sure, I can cut you a spare, cut you a double or a dub plate, but it won't last very long. You'll get maybe 20 good plays out of it, and then it'll start really decreasing in quality and fidelity. And so that's what a dub plate is. So traditionally, a dub plate is a lacquer aluminium disc that was cut as a spare for an artist or DJ to take away so they could play it that day, play it that night. Sometimes DJs wanted to actually go and DJ that song that night, or sometimes it was for bands or artists to take home, listen through it, and then just double check there were no problems, and if there was, they could contact the cutting engineer before he sent it off to get made into hundreds or thousands of records. Lathe cut records, however, are different from dub plates, and they're made out of a hard plastic more similar to a finished pressed record. And these are cut with a diamond tipped stylus with modern cutting heads so that they sound just as good and they last just as long. Now, just to add a little more confusion, the actual term dub plate has changed as well. So whereas traditionally a dub plate is a master lacquer aluminium disc cut that wears out, these days, the term dub plate is kind of applied to anything that's cut as a one-off or a very short run of records. So sometimes the long playing, hard wearing lathe cut records, which sound great and last forever, are also referred to dub plates if someone just cuts one or two of them. So when you hear someone say they've got a dub plate, that might mean they've got an actual original master lacquer disc, or more likely these days, it probably means they've got a short run lathe cut record. So just to recap, how many times can you play a lathe cut record? As many as you like. They won't wear out, they'll sound great for the whole life of the record. But dub plates do wear out, and there's sometimes a bit of confusion between what is a lathe cut and what is a dub plate, and the only way to really tell is give it a tap. So there you go. I hope that's been interesting and answered the question. If you've got any more questions about anything vinyl related, drop them in the comments and I'll get back to you or make some more videos about it. I'm a full-time mastering and record cutting engineer. I spend a lot of time stood over there cutting records. So I don't have a lot of time for making these videos, but I'd love to make more for you guys. So you can support me and help me do that by clicking subscribe, liking the video and sharing it with anyone you think might like it. So that's the sales pitch over. Get in touch with me anytime you like if you've got any questions about anything vinyl related, mastering or navigating the music industry as an independent artist. Thanks for watching, take care of yourselves and I'll see you next time.